Hello there, sleepy soul. If you've found your way here tonight, perhaps your mind has been busy. Perhaps you've been carrying thoughts that won't quite settle, worries that circle, a tiredness that goes deeper than your body. That's all right. You don't need to do anything about any of that right now. Just let your body find a comfortable position. Let the weight of the day begin to lift. And if your thoughts want to drift, let them drift. There's nothing here you need to remember. Nothing you'll be tested on. This is simply a quiet place to rest. Tonight, we're going to wander gently through the science of gratitude. Not gratitude as a self-help slogan, not as something you should feel or must practice, but gratitude as biology, as chemistry, as what actually happens inside your brain when you pause, even for a moment, and simply say thank you. Because here's something remarkable that science has discovered. When you feel grateful genuinely, quietly grateful, your brain releases dopamine, the same molecule that flows when you taste something delicious, or hear a song you love, or feel the sun on your face after a long winter. And alongside dopamine comes serotonin, the gentle molecule of contentment, the quiet sunrise inside your mind. And as these rise, something else falls. Cortisol, the stress hormone, the alarm bell that may have been ringing for far too long. It begins to soften, to quiet, to rest. And over time, with no effort required from you tonight, your brain actually changes, rewires, reshapes itself into a more peaceful version of itself. All from the simple, ancient act of feeling thankful. So tonight, as you rest, we're going to explore 100 facts about this quiet science, 100 gentle pieces of knowledge about how your brain responds to gratitude. Some you may hear, some may drift past like clouds. Both are perfectly fine. If you enjoy these quiet journeys and want to help other sleepy souls find their way here too, a like or subscribe helps. One tired mind at a time. But that's the only thing I'll ask of you. For now, just settle in. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Let your breath find its own gentle rhythm. The science of gratitude is patient. And so are we. Fact 1. Gratitude releases dopamine in your brain. When you feel grateful, something quiet happens deep inside your brain. A small flood of dopamine begins to flow. Dopamine is often called the feel-good neurotransmitter. It's the molecule that makes you feel satisfied, content, at peace. Researchers at the University of California discovered this through careful brain imaging studies. When participants were asked to recall moments of genuine gratitude, their brains responded with measurable increases in dopamine activity. Imagine a garden receiving its first morning rain. The flowers don't reach for the water. They simply receive it. Open, effortless, and something inside them begins to bloom. Perhaps you might notice your jaw softening a little, releasing any tension it might have been holding. There's no need to force anything. Just noticing is enough. And as that dopamine flows, your brain begins to remember. This feeling is good. This feeling is safe. This feeling is worth returning to. Fact 2. The ventral striatum lights up when you feel thankful. Deep within your brain, there's a region called the ventral striatum. It's part of your reward system, the same area that activates when you experience pleasure, when you achieve something meaningful, when you feel genuinely happy. Neuroscientists have found that gratitude activates this region with remarkable consistency. Brain scans show the ventral striatum glowing with activity when people feel thankful, not performing thankfulness, not thinking about it intellectually, but actually feeling it. It's like sunlight finding a window. The light doesn't force its way through. It simply arrives when the opening is there. And suddenly, the room is warmer. Your shoulders might want to drop a little now, away from your ears, just letting gravity do what gravity does. The ventral striatum doesn't care whether your gratitude is for something large or small. A sunrise, a kind word, a breath that comes easily. It responds the same way, with warmth, with reward, with quiet satisfaction. Fact 3. The same reward center activates as when tasting food you love. Here's something remarkable. The brain doesn't distinguish much between different sources of pleasure when it comes to the reward system. The same neural pathways that light up when you taste your favorite meal also activate when you feel grateful. A study published in the journal Cerebral Cortex found this overlap clearly mapped in brain scans. Gratitude and delicious food share neural real estate. They're neighbors in the architecture of your mind. Think of a river finding its natural course. It doesn't carve a new path when the old one works perfectly well. It simply follows the channels already worn smooth by time. Perhaps your forehead is softening now, the space between your eyebrows smoothing out, like a lake settling after a breeze has passed. So when you feel grateful, your brain treats it like nourishment, like something essential, like food for the soul, but quite literally, food for the brain. Fact 4. Appreciation creates its own reward, no external gift needed. Most rewards require something outside yourself. A paycheck, a compliment, a prize. But gratitude is different. Gratitude creates its own reward internally, without needing anything external to trigger it. This is what researchers call an intrinsic reward. The act of appreciating something, anything, generates the neurochemical response of reward. You don't need to receive a gift to feel this way. You simply need to notice what's already present. Like stars appearing at dusk. They were always there. The light was just too bright to see them. And now, as the sky darkens, they emerge, one by one, patient, eternal. Your hands might be uncurling now, fingers loosening, palms softening. There's nothing they need to hold on to right now. Gratitude is perhaps the only reward system that costs nothing and requires nothing except attention. Quiet, gentle attention to what already is. Fact 5. The prefrontal cortex becomes more active during gratitude. The prefrontal cortex sits right behind your forehead. It's responsible for complex thinking, decision-making, and social behavior. And when you practice gratitude, this region comes alive with activity. Studies have shown increased blood flow to the prefrontal cortex during gratitude exercises. This suggests that thankfulness isn't just an emotion, it's a cognitive process. It engages the thinking parts of your brain alongside the feeling parts. Imagine embers glowing in a peaceful hearth. They don't flame dramatically. They simply radiate warmth. Steady, constant, present. Your breath might be deepening now, not because you're trying to breathe deeply, but because your body is remembering how to rest, how to let go. The prefrontal cortex helps you reflect, analyze, and make meaning. When gratitude activates it, you're not just feeling good, You're understanding why. You're connecting experiences to values. You're becoming more whole. Fact 6. Neurons that fire together wire together. This principle is called Hebb's law, named after the psychologist Donald Hebb, who proposed it in 1949. When neurons activate at the same time, repeatedly, they strengthen their connections. They become more likely to fire together in the future. This is how habits form. This is how skills develop. And this is how gratitude becomes easier over time. Each moment of thankfulness strengthens the neural pathways associated with it. Like a path through a meadow. The first time you walk it, the grass barely bends. But with each passing, the way becomes clearer, more defined, more natural to follow. Perhaps your jaw is releasing even more now, the muscles around your mouth softening, your tongue resting gently in your mouth, not pressed against anything. Every time you feel grateful, you're not just experiencing a moment, you're building architecture, neural architecture that makes the next moment of gratitude a little easier to reach. Fact 7. Each thank you strengthens gratitude pathways. Every expression of thanks, whether spoken aloud, written down, or simply felt internally, reinforces the brain circuits associated with gratitude. It's like exercise for these specific neural networks. Researchers at Indiana University found that people who practiced gratitude regularly showed lasting changes in brain activity, even when they weren't actively being grateful. The pathways had become stronger, more automatic. Think of water wearing smooth a stone, not through force, not through violence, but through patient, repeated presence, day after day, year after year. Your eyes might feel heavier now, lids wanting to close if they haven't already. There's no resistance needed, just letting them rest. So each small thank you matters, not for what it accomplishes in the moment, but for what it builds over time. A brain more inclined toward peace, toward contentment, toward noticing what is good. Fact 8. Writing gratitude amplifies the neurochemical response. Thinking about what you're grateful for is powerful, but writing it down amplifies the effect significantly. The physical act of writing engages additional brain regions, deepening the neurological impact. A study in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that participants who wrote gratitude letters showed greater activation in the medial prefrontal cortex compared to those who only thought about gratitude. Like rain falling into a garden rather than passing overhead, the garden receives it differently, absorbs it more deeply, uses it to grow. Perhaps your shoulders are dropping further now, settling toward the surface beneath you, releasing burdens they didn't even know they were carrying. When you write, you transform an abstract feeling into something concrete, something visible, something your brain can hold and examine and integrate more fully. Fact 9. Journaling deepens the experience beyond just thinking. Gratitude journaling has become a popular practice, and the science supports its effectiveness. Regular journaling creates a ritual that signals to the brain this is valuable. Pay attention. Remember, research from the Greater Good Science Center at Berkeley found that people who kept gratitude journals for just 3 weeks reported lasting improvements in well-being that persisted for months afterward. Imagine a well. The more often you draw from it, the more the path to it becomes familiar. And somehow, the water seems sweeter each time, more refreshing, more essential. Your neck might be lengthening now, the space between your vertebrae expanding ever so slightly, head settling more comfortably into rest. The act of journaling isn't magic. It's simply repetition with intention. And that combination, repetition with intention, is how the brain learns best. Fact 10. Gratitude can be felt for small, quiet moments. You don't need a dramatic reason to feel grateful. The brain responds to small gratitudes with the same neurochemical reward as large ones. A warm blanket, a quiet room, the sound of rain outside. Studies show that the frequency of grateful moments matters more than their intensity. Many small appreciations build stronger neural pathways than occasional large ones. Like stars, individually, each one is just a point of light. But together, they fill the sky with wonder. It's not the size of any single star that matters, it's their countless presence. Perhaps you're noticing your breath now, not changing it, just noticing the gentle rise and fall, the quiet rhythm that continues without any effort from you. Gratitude for small things is not lesser gratitude. It's more accessible gratitude, more sustainable, more woven into the fabric of everyday life. Fact 11. The brain doesn't measure the size of the gift. When it comes to gratitude, your brain doesn't have a scale. It doesn't weigh the value of what you're thankful for and adjust its response accordingly. A profound gratitude and a simple one activate similar regions. Neuroscientists at the National Institutes of Health discovered this through functional MRI studies. The brain's reward system responded to gratitude itself, not to the objective value of what was appreciated. Think of sunlight. It doesn't shine more brightly on a palace than on a simple cottage. It simply shines, and whatever opens to receive it grows warmer. Your feet might be feeling heavier now, sinking into rest, each toe releasing its small tensions. This means you have access to the full neurochemical benefit of gratitude at any moment. You don't need to wait for something significant. You simply need to notice something present. Fact 12. Gratitude reduces the need for external validation. When you regularly feel grateful, something interesting happens to your need for approval from others. It diminishes. Not because you care less about people, but because you've found an internal source of satisfaction. Psychologists call this shift moving from extrinsic to intrinsic motivation. Gratitude helps make that transition naturally, without forcing anything. Like a tree that has found water deep underground, it no longer strains toward distant rain. Its roots have reached something that sustains it from within. Perhaps your legs are growing heavy now. All the walking they've done, all the standing they can rest completely now, held by whatever supports them. Gratitude becomes its own reward, its own validation. And from that place of internal sufficiency, connections with others become more genuine, more free. Fact 13. You become your own source of comfort. Over time, regular gratitude practice shifts something fundamental. You stop needing external circumstances to be perfect in order to feel content. You develop what researchers call psychological resilience. Studies from the University of Pennsylvania found that grateful individuals recover faster from adversity and report higher baseline levels of contentment regardless of life circumstances. Imagine a lantern that contains its own light. It doesn't depend on the sun or the moon. It carries warmth within it, wherever it goes. Your back is settling deeper now, the spine lengthening, relaxing, supported each vertebra finding its natural alignment. This doesn't mean external things stop mattering. It means you've added something internal, a reserve of peace that you carry with you, that no circumstance can take away. Fact 14. The dopamine from gratitude is gentler than other sources. Not all dopamine is created equal. The dopamine surge from gratitude is different from the spike you might get from sugar, or social media notifications, or other intense stimuli. It's gentler, more sustained, less likely to lead to a crash. Neurochemically, gratitude produces a tonic rather than phasic. Dopamine response a steady warmth rather than a sharp peak. Like a hearth fire versus a match flame. The match burns brightly, but quickly vanishes. The hearth glows on through the night, warming whoever rests nearby. Perhaps warmth is spreading through your body now, starting somewhere central and radiating outward, into your arms, your legs, your hands. This gentler dopamine is why gratitude feels sustainable. It doesn't leave you craving more. It simply fills what was empty and then rests. Fact 15. Like a warm ember rather than a firework. Scientists describe the neurochemical profile of gratitude as low arousal, positive effect. This means it's a good feeling, but a calm one. Not excited, not thrilled, just content. This quality makes gratitude particularly compatible with sleep. Unlike excitement, which activates the sympathetic nervous system, gratitude soothes it. Think of an ember after the flames have settled. It still glows. It still warms. But quietly, without drama, without demanding attention. Your chest might feel easier now, the heart beating at its own unhurried pace. No need to pump faster, nowhere to rush. This is why we can explore gratitude tonight, because it leads towards sleep, not away from it. Each fact settling you deeper, each moment of appreciation lowering you gently toward rest. Fact 16. Gratitude can be felt even in difficult times. Research has shown that gratitude remains accessible even during challenging periods. People going through grief, illness, or hardship still report moments of thankfulness, and these moments provide measurable relief. This isn't about forcing positivity. It's about the brain's capacity to hold multiple truths simultaneously. Sadness and gratitude can coexist. Like a garden in autumn, the leaves are falling. Yes, the cold is coming, but somewhere, a late flower blooms, and the eye can choose to rest there, just for a moment. Your forehead is smooth now. The muscles that furrow with worry, they're resting, soft, released. Gratitude doesn't erase difficulty. It provides a brief respite within it, a small window through which softer light can enter. Fact 17. The brain can hold sadness and thankfulness together. Neuroimaging studies have confirmed what poets have long known: the human brain can process seemingly opposite emotions simultaneously. You can feel sad and grateful at the same time. The prefrontal cortex helps integrate these experiences, finding coherence in apparent contradiction. This is emotional sophistication, not confusion. Imagine twilight, not fully day, not fully night. Both present, both real. A threshold time that holds what came before and what comes after. Perhaps your body is settling even deeper now, finding that place where effort stops and rest truly begins. Gratitude during hard times isn't denial. its expansion, making room for more than one truth, allowing the heart to be large enough to hold it all. Fact 18. Children who practice gratitude develop deeper empathy. Studies of children who regularly practice gratitude show enhanced development of empathy and pro-social behavior. The gratitude pathways connect to regions associated with understanding others' perspectives. Researchers at the University of North Carolina found that grateful children were more likely to help others and show compassion toward peers. Like ripples spreading from a single stone dropped in still water, the gratitude you feel doesn't stay contained. It extends outward, touching others, connecting. Your breathing has found its own rhythm now. Natural, unforced, like waves on a quiet shore. This connection between gratitude and empathy suggests something profound. That thankfulness isn't just about feeling good yourself, it's about becoming more connected to the world around you. Fact 19. Expressing thanks to others strengthens relationships. When you express gratitude to another person, both brains benefit. The giver experiences the dopamine reward of thankfulness, and the receiver experiences the pleasure of being appreciated. Research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that couples who express gratitude regularly report higher relationship satisfaction and greater stability over time. Think of two candles, close enough that one lights the other. The flame passes between them, and now both glow, neither diminished by sharing. Your hands are completely relaxed now, open, receiving nothing, holding nothing, simply resting. Gratitude, expressed, becomes connection, a bridge between separate minds, a reminder that we are not alone in this. Fact 20. Two brains can share warmth through a single thank you. Neuroscientists studying social interactions have found that expressions of gratitude create synchronized activity between the brains of the giver and receiver. A kind of neural mirroring occurs. This interpersonal synchrony is associated with feelings of bonding, trust, and mutual understanding. A simple thank you literally aligns brain states. Like two instruments finding the same key, a harmony emerges, not because either changed fundamentally, but because they are tuned to each other. Perhaps a sense of connection is present even now, to others who have rested here before you, to those who will come after, all sleepy souls on the same gentle journey. Gratitude, it seems, is not just personal chemistry, it's social chemistry too, a way of weaving individuals into something larger. Fact 21. Gratitude activates the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is a small but mighty region of the brain. It regulates sleep, appetite, body temperature, and many other essential functions, and gratitude activates it. A study at the National Institutes of Health found significant hypothalamic activity during gratitude experiences. This helps explain some of gratitude's physical benefits, like finding the control room of a vast building and discovering that kindness is one of the switches. Flip it, and systems throughout begin to function more smoothly. Your body temperature might feel just right now. Not too warm, not too cool. Regulated, balanced, at ease. When gratitude touches the hypothalamus, it touches the systems that keep you alive and well. Sleep, hunger, warmth, all gently tended by thankfulness. Fact 22. This region regulates sleep, appetite, and metabolism. The hypothalamus connects to nearly every other part of the brain. Its influence extends throughout the body via hormones and nerve signals. When gratitude activates it, the benefits cascade. Better sleep follows from a calmer hypothalamus, more balanced appetite, more stable metabolism. The body's systems find equilibrium. Think of a conductor settling an orchestra, not through force, but through presence, a slight gesture, and all the instruments align. Perhaps your stomach is soft now, no tension held there. Digestion happening quietly, without urgency. Gratitude, through the hypothalamus, becomes whole-body medicine, not just a feeling in your mind, but a regulation of your entire system. Fact 23. Feeling thankful can improve how well you sleep. Research published in the Journal of Psychosomatic Research found that gratitude is significantly associated with sleep quality. Grateful people fall asleep faster, sleep longer, and feel more refreshed upon waking. The mechanism seems to work through reduced pre-sleep worry. When the mind focuses on appreciation, it has less room for anxiety. Like filling a cup with water, the air naturally leaves, not pushed out, just displaced by what fills the space. Your eyes are heavy now, or perhaps already closed. There's nothing left to see tonight except the quiet darkness behind your lids. So this practice of exploring gratitude as you rest isn't contradictory. It's complementary. Each fact leading you deeper toward the sleep your body wants. Fact 24. The medial prefrontal cortex processes gratitude. The medial prefrontal cortex is involved in many complex functions: self-reflection, memory consolidation, future planning. It's also one of the primary regions activated during gratitude. This suggests that gratitude isn't a simple emotion, it's a complex cognitive emotional process that engages some of your brain's most sophisticated machinery. Imagine a great library where many books are being consulted simultaneously. Memory, emotion, meaning, connection, all being cross-referenced, all contributing to a single, rich experience. Your mind is quieting now, thoughts slowing, words becoming harder to follow, and that's perfect. The medial prefrontal cortex does its best work without your conscious effort. Let it process. Let it integrate. Let it transform tonight's gentle facts into tomorrow's subtle wisdom. Fact 25. This area connects emotion to decision-making. The medial prefrontal cortex serves as a bridge between what you feel and how you act. Gratitude, processed here, doesn't stay abstract. It influences choices, behaviors, patterns. Researchers have found that activating this region through gratitude leads to more pro-social decisions, greater generosity, and increased patience. Like a river connecting a mountain lake to distant farmland, the water doesn't stay contained. It flows. It nourishes. It makes things grow. Perhaps you're barely following these words now. Just sounds. Just warmth. Just presence. And that's exactly right. This is the end of our first cluster. 25 facts about the chemistry of thank you. Dopamine flowing. Reward centers glowing. Neural pathways strengthening. And as dopamine continues its gentle work, another molecule begins to rise. Serotonin, the sunrise of the brain. But that's for the next cluster. For now, just rest. And as dopamine continues its gentle work, another molecule begins to rise. Serotonin, the sunrise of the brain. Fact 26. Serotonin is called the happiness molecule. Serotonin has earned many names over the years. The happiness molecule, the mood stabilizer, the natural antidepressant. It's one of the most studied neurotransmitters in all of neuroscience. When serotonin levels are balanced, you feel calm, focused, emotionally stable, not ecstatic, not thrilled, just well, just yourself, but at ease. Imagine the first warm light of sunrise, not the blazing noon sun, but that gentle, golden hour when the world begins to wake. Soft, gradual, full of quiet promise. Perhaps your chest is expanding a little more easily now. Each breath coming with less effort, more space opening inside you. Serotonin doesn't create happiness so much as it allows happiness to exist. It clears the fog, steadies the ground, makes room for peace. Fact 27. It's released from the anterior cingulate cortex. The anterior cingulate cortex, sometimes abbreviated ACC, is a region deep in your brain that helps regulate emotion. When you feel grateful, this area becomes active and releases serotonin. Researchers have mapped this connection through careful neuroimaging. The gratitude serotonin pathway runs through the ACC like a well-worn road. Like a tide returning gently to shore, the water doesn't crash. It simply arrives, filling the spaces that were empty, smoothing what was rough. Your stomach might be softening now, any tension held there beginning to dissolve, organs settling into their natural rhythm. The ACC is also involved in error detection and conflict resolution. When it releases serotonin during gratitude, it's as if the brain is saying all is well. No threats detected. You can rest. Fact 28. Gratitude is one of the most reliable ways to boost it. There are many ways to increase serotonin: exercise, sunlight, certain foods. But gratitude is one of the most accessible and consistent methods available. Studies have shown that even brief gratitude practices produce measurable increases in serotonin activity. No gym membership required. No supplements. Just attention. Think of clouds parting to reveal blue sky. The blue was always there. The clouds simply moved. And suddenly, everything looks different. Your eyes are growing heavier now, the lids wanting to close if they haven't already. There's no need to keep them open. Gratitude as a serotonin boost is available to you at any moment, in any circumstance, wherever you happen to be. Fact 29. Serotonin improves mood, willpower, and motivation. Serotonin does more than make you feel good. It enhances your capacity for self-control, focus, and directed action. It's fuel for the executive functions of your brain. Research from Stanford University found that higher serotonin levels correlate with better decision-making and greater resilience in the face of challenges. Imagine a ship with full sails on a calm sea. There's wind enough to move forward, but no storm to fight. Progress becomes possible. Direction becomes clear. Perhaps your body is sinking deeper now, into whatever surface holds you, surrendering weight you didn't know you were carrying. Serotonin doesn't make life effortless, but it makes effort feel more manageable, more worthwhile, more within reach. Fact 30. It's the primary neuromodulator in gratitude. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman has described serotonin as the primary neuromodulator involved in gratitude experiences. While dopamine provides reward, serotonin provides the deeper sense of contentment that lingers. A neuromodulator is a chemical that changes how neurons communicate. Serotonin doesn't just signal pleasure, it alters the entire landscape of neural conversation. Like morning warmth spreading across a cold meadow, the frost doesn't disappear instantly, but gradually, gently. The temperature shifts, and everything softens. Your neck might be releasing tension now. The muscles that hold your head upright all day, they can let go. The pillow will do that work. Serotonin modulates. It doesn't force. It invites. It creates conditions where peace becomes natural. Fact 31. 95% of serotonin is produced in your gut. Here's something surprising. Most of your body's serotonin isn't made in your brain at all. About 95% of it is produced in your gastrointestinal tract. This is why the gut is sometimes called the second brain. It contains more than 100 million neurons and produces neurotransmitters that affect your entire body. Think of a flower opening to morning warmth. The petals don't unfold from the top down. They open from the center, from the core, radiating outward. Perhaps there's a warmth in your belly now, a sense of safety there, of being nourished from within. The gut-brain connection means that what you feel in your stomach truly does connect to what you feel in your mind. They're part of the same system. Fact 32. The gut-brain connection influences how you feel. The vagus nerve serves as a highway between your gut and your brain, carrying signals in both directions. When your gut is calm, your brain tends to be calmer too. Researchers at Johns Hopkins have mapped this connection extensively. The microbiome in your intestines can actually influence your mood, your stress levels, and your emotional resilience. Like roots communicating with leaves through the trunk of a tree, information flows. Nutrients travel. What happens below affects what happens above. Your breathing has become so natural now, you might not even notice it. Just the gentle rise and fall. The body doing what bodies do. Gratitude. By boosting serotonin production in both gut and brain. Works with this whole system. It's not just a mental practice, it's a whole body experience. Fact 33. Serotonin regulates your sleep cycles. Serotonin plays a direct role in sleep. During the day, it helps you stay awake and alert. At night, it converts into melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep. This conversion happens in the pineal gland, deep in the center of your brain. Serotonin is literally the precursor to the sleep hormone. Imagine a river that changes as it travels. In the mountains, it runs fast and clear, but as it reaches the plains, it slows, widens, becomes peaceful. Your limbs are heavy now, arms and legs sinking into rest. No need to move them anywhere. By practicing gratitude, you're not just improving your mood, you're preparing the raw material for better sleep. The serotonin you generate now becomes tomorrow night's melatonin. Fact 34. It helps maintain your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is the internal clock that governs when you feel awake and when you feel sleepy. Serotonin helps keep this clock running smoothly. Disrupted circadian rhythms are linked to mood disorders, fatigue, and difficulty concentrating. Healthy serotonin levels support healthy rhythms. Think of the moon's steady orbit around the Earth. It doesn't hurry. it doesn't slow down. It simply follows its path, night after night, reliable and constant. Perhaps you're losing track of time now, the minutes blending together, the boundary between awake and asleep growing softer. Gratitude supports your circadian rhythm by supporting serotonin. And a healthy rhythm means easier sleep, better mornings, and more stable energy throughout the day. Fact 35. Regular gratitude increases baseline serotonin. Just as muscles grow stronger with exercise, your brain's serotonin system becomes more robust with regular gratitude practice. Baseline levels increase over time. This means that even when you're not actively feeling grateful, you have more serotonin available. The default state shifts toward contentment. Like a well that deepens with use, the more you draw from it, the more capacity it develops. The water table rises to meet your need. Your mind is quieter now. Fewer thoughts competing for attention. Just a gentle hum of awareness. This is the gift of practice. Not just momentary relief, but lasting change. A brain that rests more easily in peace. Fact 36. The effect builds over time with practice. Neuroplasticity means your brain changes in response to repeated experiences. Gratitude practice literally reshapes the neural systems involved in serotonin production and response. Studies tracking participants over months found that the benefits of gratitude accumulated. The longer people practiced, the stronger the effects became. Imagine a garden tended season after season. The first year, the soil is thin, but with each passing year, it grows richer, deeper, more fertile. Perhaps everything is softer now, the edges of your awareness blurring, the world growing distant and dreamlike. You're not just listening to facts tonight. You're participating in a process, each moment of gratitude adding to what came before. Fact 37. Social connection amplifies serotonin release. Gratitude experienced in a social context produces even greater serotonin release than gratitude felt alone. When we appreciate others, and they appreciate us, the effect multiplies. Research on social bonds has shown that interpersonal gratitude creates a positive feedback loop. The more you express thanks, the more connection you feel, the more serotonin flows. Like moonlight on still water, the light comes from above, but the water reflects it back. And suddenly, there's twice as much brightness in the world. Your sense of connection extends beyond this moment, to all the people who have touched your life, all the kindnesses, remembered and forgotten. Gratitude is social glue. It binds us to each other and, in binding, releases the chemistry of belonging. Fact 38. Gratitude can buffer against feelings of loneliness. Loneliness is one of the most significant health risks of modern life. It affects physical health as much as mental health, but gratitude can help. Studies have found that practicing gratitude reduces feelings of isolation, even when objective circumstances haven't changed. The brain begins to notice connection rather than absence. Think of a single candle in a dark room. The darkness hasn't disappeared, but the light changes everything. What felt empty now feels inhabited. Perhaps a sense of presence surrounds you now, not quite alone, accompanied by something gentle. Gratitude doesn't replace human connection, but it can hold the space where connection will eventually grow. It keeps the heart open. Fact 39. It increases cognitive flexibility. Cognitive flexibility is your brain's ability to shift between different concepts, or to think about multiple things simultaneously. It's essential for creativity, problem solving, and adaptation. Serotonin supports cognitive flexibility. When levels are higher, the brain becomes more adaptable, less rigid, more open to new ideas. Imagine water flowing around stones in a stream. It doesn't fight the obstacles. It simply finds another way, flowing, adapting, moving forward. Your thoughts might feel more fluid now, less stuck on any particular worry, just drifting, shapeless, free. Gratitude, through serotonin, makes your mind more nimble, more able to see possibilities, more ready to discover solutions. Fact 40. Your mind becomes more adaptable, more creative. Artists, writers, and innovators often report that their best ideas come during moments of calm rather than stress. This makes neurological sense. Serotonin creates the conditions for creative insight. The relaxed brain makes connections that the stressed brain cannot see. It wanders more freely through associative networks, finding unexpected links. Like soft light on a soft morning, colors appear that harsh noon would bleach out. Subtleties emerge. Beauty reveals itself. Perhaps images are forming behind your closed eyes now. Dream fragments beginning to assemble. The creative mind preparing for sleep. Gratitude opens the door to this kind of thinking. By calming the nervous system, it lets the deeper mind do its quiet work. Fact 41. Serotonin supports emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks, to bounce back from disappointment, to maintain equilibrium in the face of challenge. Serotonin is crucial for this capacity. People with healthy serotonin levels don't avoid pain, they process it differently. They move through difficulty rather than getting stuck. Think of a tree in wind. It bends. It sways. Some leaves may fall, but the roots hold, and when the wind passes, the tree still stands. Your body knows how to heal, how to recover, how to find balance again. It's been doing this your whole life. Gratitude builds resilience not by denying difficulty, but by providing a neurochemical foundation that helps you weather it. Fact 42. It helps you recover from difficult moments. The time it takes to recover from negative emotions is a measurable thing. Psychologists call it emotional recovery time. Serotonin helps shorten this period. Studies have found that people who practice gratitude regularly return to baseline emotional states faster after upsetting experiences. The dip is shorter, the bounce back quicker. Like a lake settling after a stone has been thrown. The ripples spread. Then, gradually, inevitably, the surface becomes still again. Perhaps any tension from the day is settling now. Whatever storms came before, they're passing. The surface is calming. This doesn't mean never feeling upset. It means not staying upset longer than the situation warrants. It means returning to peace. Fact 43. Gratitude shifts attention to what's present. Much of human suffering comes from ruminating about the past or worrying about the future. Gratitude anchors attention in the present moment, where most of life actually occurs. Serotonin supports this present moment awareness. It helps the brain release its grip on what was and what might be, settling into what is. Imagine standing in a gentle rain. not thinking about yesterday's sun or tomorrow's forecast, just feeling the drops on your skin. Now, here. You're here now. In this moment. Whatever happened before tonight, whatever comes after right now, there's just this breath, this rest. Gratitude says this is enough, not because nothing could be better, but because right now, in this moment, there is something worth noticing. Fact 44. The negativity bias begins to soften. Evolution wired the human brain to pay more attention to threats than to rewards. This negativity bias kept our ancestors alive. But in modern life, it often keeps us anxious. Gratitude practice counteracts the negativity bias. By deliberately noticing what's good, we retrain the brain's automatic focus. Like adjusting a camera lens, the threatening things don't disappear from the frame, but the beautiful things come into sharper focus. The balance shifts. Perhaps you're noticing now what feels good. The softness of where you rest. The safety of this moment. The simple gift of being able to breathe. The negativity bias is not your fault. It's ancient programming. But gratitude gives you the power to update it. Gently, over time. Fact 45. You start noticing what's going well. As gratitude practice continues, something interesting happens to perception itself. You begin to spontaneously notice positive things that you might have overlooked before. This isn't wishful thinking. It's attentional training. The brain learns to search for evidence of good alongside evidence of threat. Think of learning to identify a particular bird by its song. Once you know what to listen for, you hear it everywhere. It was always there, you just weren't tuned to it. Your attention is softer now, not grasping at anything, just resting, open, receptive. Gratitude changes not just how you feel, but what you perceive. The world itself seems to shift, though only your attention has moved. Fact 46. This shift happens gradually, gently. No one becomes instantly optimistic through a single gratitude practice. The shift is gradual, incremental, almost invisible from day to day. But over weeks and months, the accumulation becomes apparent. Looking back, you realize you've changed, that things bother you less. That peace comes easier, like dawn arriving. You can't watch the moment when night becomes day. It simply happens, so slowly that you only notice once it's done. You don't need to measure progress tonight. You don't need to evaluate whether this is working. Just rest. Let the process happen. Gratitude is patient work, and patience, as it turns out, is a form of trust. Trust in the slow unfolding of change. Fact 47. Serotonin influences how you perceive pain. Physical pain and emotional pain share neural pathways. Serotonin, by modulating these pathways, can affect how intensely pain is experienced. Research has shown that people with healthy serotonin levels often report lower pain sensitivity. The signal still arrives, but its volume is turned down. Imagine a distant sound, perhaps traffic, or wind, or voices far away. It's there, but it doesn't demand attention. It doesn't distress. Perhaps any discomfort in your body is softening now. Not gone, but less urgent, less central. Just one sensation among many. Gratitude doesn't cure pain, but by supporting serotonin, it may help pain feel more manageable. more bearable, less defining. Fact 48. Grateful people often report lower pain levels. Surveys of chronic pain patients have found correlations between gratitude practice and pain perception. Those who practiced gratitude regularly reported lower pain intensity and less interference with daily life. This isn't about ignoring pain or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about the complex relationship between attention, meaning, and sensation. Like a room with many objects in it, pain might be one of them. But gratitude fills the room with other things too, things worth noticing, worth appreciating. Pain becomes one element, not the only one. Your body is wise. It knows how to process signals. Trust it to find the right balance tonight. Gratitude expands the room. It makes space for more than suffering. It invites other experiences in. Fact 49. The molecule helps regulate body temperature. Serotonin plays a role in thermoregulation, the process by which your body maintains a stable internal temperature. It helps you feel neither too hot nor too cold. This is one of gratitude's more subtle effects. By supporting serotonin, thankfulness contributes to physical comfort in ways you might never consciously notice. Think of a thermostat quietly doing its work. You don't think about the temperature when it's right. You simply feel comfortable, at ease. Perhaps your temperature feels perfect now. Blankets or sheets at just the right weight. The air at just the right coolness. Everything balanced. Serotonin works behind the scenes like this, adjusting, calibrating, making sure the systems run smoothly while you rest. Fact 50. As warmth spreads, serotonin continues its quiet work. And so we've traveled through 25 facts about serotonin, the happiness molecule, the sunrise of the brain, the gentle warmth that gratitude releases. From the anterior cingulate cortex to the gut-brain connection, from sleep cycles to emotional resilience, from pain perception to body temperature, like a tide that has now fully reached the shore. Every grain of sand touched by the water, every hollow filled. You're deeper now than when this cluster began, closer to sleep, closer to that place where effort stops and rest simply is. And as serotonin continues its quiet work, something else begins to happen. The stress that you may have been carrying starts to quiet. Cortisol, the alarm signal, begins to soften. But that's for the next cluster. For now, just drift. With serotonin warming your mind, something else begins to happen. The stress that you may have been carrying starts to quiet. Cortisol, the alarm signal, begins to soften. Fact 51. Cortisol is your body's stress hormone. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, though that's only part of its story. It's produced by your adrenal glands and released whenever your brain perceives a threat. In small amounts, cortisol is helpful. It wakes you up in the morning. It helps you respond to challenges. But when it stays elevated for too long, it becomes harmful. Imagine snow melting in spring sunshine, the ice that formed during winter necessary. Perhaps, for a time now releasing, softening, returning to water. Perhaps your feet are feeling heavier now, sinking into wherever they rest, each toe releasing its small grip on the world. Cortisol is meant to be temporary, a surge, then a retreat. The problem is that modern life often keeps the alarm ringing long after the danger has passed. Fact 52. It's useful in emergencies, but harmful when chronic. When you face a real threat, Cortisol is your friend. It sharpens focus, increases energy, and prepares your body to act. This is the fight-or-flight response working as designed. But when stress becomes chronic, when the alarm never fully switches off, cortisol damages the very systems it was meant to protect, like a fire alarm that never stops ringing. At first, it's helpful, a warning, but if it continues for hours, for days, it becomes its own form of harm. Your legs might be growing heavier now. All the walking they've done, all the standing, they can surrender that effort now. Gratitude helps turn off the alarm, not by ignoring real threats, but by signaling to the brain that this moment, at least, is safe. Fact 53. Gratitude practice measurably lowers cortisol. Researchers have measured cortisol levels in saliva before and after gratitude practices. The results are consistent. Gratitude lowers cortisol. The effect is measurable, reproducibly, real. A study at the University of California, San Diego, found that participants who kept gratitude journals showed 23% lower cortisol than control groups. Think of a quiet forest after rainfall. The drops have stopped falling, but the peace remains. Everything washed clean, everything still. Perhaps your lower back is settling now, the muscles that hold you upright releasing their vigilance. You don't need to hold yourself up right now. Gratitude is medicine for the stress response, not a replacement for addressing real problems, but a way to give your body the rest it needs between challenges. Fact 54. Regular practitioners show lower baseline levels. Just as gratitude raises baseline serotonin over time, it lowers baseline cortisol. People who practice gratitude regularly have calmer nervous systems, even when they're not actively practicing. This represents a fundamental shift in physiology. The default state moves from vigilance toward relaxation. The body learns that it doesn't need to be on high alert constantly. Like waves smoothing sand on a shore. Each wave does a little work, and over time, the roughness disappears. The beach becomes soft. Your neck might be lengthening now. The space between vertebrae expanding, head settling more comfortably into rest. This is the goal of practice, not to feel grateful in isolated moments, but to build a body that rests more easily in peace. Fact 55. Less cortisol means less pressure on your heart. Chronic cortisol elevation puts strain on the cardiovascular system. Blood pressure rises. Heart rate increases. The heart works harder than it needs to. By lowering cortisol, gratitude reduces this burden. The heart can beat at its natural, unhurried pace. Blood flows more easily through relaxed vessels. Imagine a lake at twilight, the surface perfectly still, reflecting the first stars. No wind to disturb it. Your heart is beating now. You might notice it if you pay attention. A rhythm that continues without any effort from you. Steady, patient. Gratitude is heart medicine. Not dramatic, not instant, but real. Each practice giving your cardiovascular system a moment of relief. Fact 56. Your immune system strengthens when stress hormones drop. Cortisol suppresses immune function. This makes sense for short-term emergencies. Fighting off infection can wait when you're running from a predator. But chronic suppression leaves you vulnerable. When cortisol drops, the immune system rebounds. White blood cells function better. Inflammation decreases. The body's defenses work as they should. Think of fog lifting from a valley. What was hidden becomes visible. What couldn't function in the mist now works clearly. Perhaps there's a sense of safety in your body now, a feeling that you're protected, cared for from within. Gratitude doesn't replace vaccines or medicine, but it creates conditions where your natural defenses can do their job more effectively. Fact 57. Digestion improves as cortisol quiets. The stress response diverts blood away from digestive organs toward muscles. This is useful if you need to run or fight. But for digestion to work well, the body needs to be calm. When cortisol drops, blood returns to the gut. Digestive enzymes flow more freely. Nutrients absorb more efficiently. The gut can do its quiet work. Like a river returning to its banks after a flood, the rushing subsides. The water finds its natural channels. Life along the edges can resume. Your stomach might feel more peaceful now. Whatever you ate earlier, your body is processing it quietly, efficiently, without urgency. Gratitude supports digestion by supporting calm. The rest and digest response requires rest, and gratitude helps provide it. Fact 58. Gratitude activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system has two branches. The sympathetic branch activates during stress. The parasympathetic branch activates during rest. Gratitude shifts the balance toward parasympathetic. This shift is measurable through heart rate variability, skin conductance, and other physiological markers. Gratitude literally changes how your nervous system operates. Imagine a lake after a storm. The winds have died. The waves have settled. The water becomes a mirror. Your breathing has become slow now. Deep. Natural. The rhythm of rest rather than the rhythm of vigilance. The parasympathetic state is where healing happens, where restoration occurs, where the body does its maintenance work. Gratitude opens the door to this state. Fact 59. This is your rest and digest state. Scientists sometimes call parasympathetic activation the rest and digest state. It's the opposite of fight or flight. It's where the body goes to heal, to restore, to prepare for tomorrow. In this state, heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, muscles relax. The brain shifts toward calmer patterns of activity. Think of an animal finding a safe place to sleep. The ears stop scanning for danger. The muscles stop tensing. The whole system settles. Perhaps you're entering that state now. Rest and digest. Rest and restore. Rest and simply be. Gratitude is a doorway to this biological sanctuary. A way of telling the body the world is safe enough for now. You can rest. Fact 60. Heart rate variability improves with thankfulness. Heart rate variability, or HRV, measures the variation in time between heartbeats. Higher variability is actually healthier. It indicates a flexible, responsive cardiovascular system. Gratitude practices have been shown to improve HRV. The heart becomes more adaptive, more resilient, better able to respond to changing demands. Like a skilled musician who can play softly or loudly, slowly or quickly. The range matters. The flexibility matters. The ability to adapt matters. Your heart has been adapting all your life, to sleep and waking, to rest and effort, to peace and stress. Tonight, it's adapting to rest. HRV improvement is a sign of overall health, and gratitude is one of the simplest ways to improve it. Fact 61. This is a marker of cardiovascular health. Doctors and researchers use HRV as an indicator of cardiovascular fitness. Low variability is associated with increased risk of heart disease. High variability suggests a healthy, well-regulated system. By improving HRV, gratitude contributes to long-term heart health. The effects aren't dramatic from day to day, but they accumulate. Imagine a path worn smooth by many footsteps. No single step makes much difference, but over time, the way becomes clear, easy, natural to follow. Perhaps there's an ease in your chest now, the heart beating without strain, without hurry, just doing what hearts do. Gratitude is heart care. Simple, free, and available to everyone. A few moments of thanks, and your heart thanks you back. Fact 62. Blood pressure decreases with regular practice. Studies have found that regular gratitude practice is associated with lower blood pressure. The effect is modest, but consistent across multiple research trials. High blood pressure strains the cardiovascular system over time. Every point of reduction helps. Gratitude contributes to that reduction. Think of a stream finding an easier path. The water doesn't force its way through rock. It finds the channels that already exist. It flows where flowing is easiest. Your blood is flowing now, through arteries and veins, without resistance, without pressure, just the gentle circulation that sustains life. Blood pressure responds to many factors: diet, exercise, medication. Gratitude is simply one more tool, one more way to help. Fact 63. The effect is comparable to some medications. Some studies have found that the blood pressure reduction from consistent gratitude practice approaches the effect of certain medications. This doesn't mean gratitude replaces medicine, but it suggests how powerful the practice can be. The body has remarkable capacity for self-regulation. Gratitude helps access that capacity. It works with your physiology, not against it. Like sleep itself, no pill can truly replicate what natural sleep does for the body. But creating the conditions for good sleep that's within our power. Perhaps sleep is approaching now. The boundary between waking and rest growing soft. The words becoming harder to follow. Gratitude is natural medicine. The kind that works because it aligns with how your body was designed to function. Fact 64. Inflammation markers decrease in grateful individuals. Chronic inflammation is linked to heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and many other conditions. Cortisol and stress contribute to inflammation. Gratitude, by reducing stress, helps reduce inflammation. Researchers measuring inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein have found lower levels in people who practice gratitude regularly. Imagine fire slowly dying down, the flames settling into embers, the heat receding, what was inflamed becoming cooler, calmer. Perhaps any inflammation in your body is settling now. The systems that maintain balance, doing their quiet work through the night. Inflammation serves a purpose. It helps fight infection and heal wounds. But chronic inflammation is the body turned against itself. Gratitude helps restore balance. Fact 65. Chronic inflammation is linked to many diseases. Researchers now understand that chronic low-grade inflammation contributes to conditions from cancer to Alzheimer's to depression. Reducing inflammation is one of the most protective things you can do for long-term health. Gratitude isn't a cure for inflammatory diseases, but as part of a lifestyle that manages stress, it can help keep inflammation in check. Think of a garden tended with care. Weeds pulled before they spread. Soil nourished before it depletes. Prevention rather than cure. Your body is tending itself right now. As you rest, as you drift, systems are calibrating, repairing, preparing for tomorrow. Sleep and gratitude work together. Both reduce inflammation. Both support healing. Both give the body what it needs to stay well. Fact 66. Sleep quality improves as cortisol normalizes. Cortisol and sleep have an inverse relationship. When cortisol is high, sleep is difficult. When cortisol drops to its appropriate nighttime level, sleep comes more easily. Gratitude before bed helps normalize the cortisol curve. It signals to the body that the day's stress is over. That night has come. That rest is now appropriate. Like dimming the lights before sleep, the body responds to cues. It learns what different signals mean. Gratitude becomes a signal for rest. Perhaps your body is receiving that signal now. The cortisol that kept you alert during the day settling to its nighttime low. Sleep approaching. This is why we explore gratitude at this hour. Because gratitude and sleep complement each other. Because one prepares the way for the other. Fact 67. You fall asleep faster. Stay asleep longer. Research on gratitude and sleep consistently shows two effects: faster sleep onset and longer sleep duration. People who practice gratitude take less time to fall asleep and wake up less during the night. The mechanism works through worry reduction. Gratitude occupies the mental space that anxiety would otherwise fill. With less to worry about, the brain can release into sleep. Imagine a cup filling with water. As the water rises, the air has nowhere to go. It simply leaves. Gratitude fills the cup. Worry departs. You're filling with rest now, with quiet, with the kind of peace that allows sleep to arrive naturally. Faster to sleep, longer in sleep, more refreshed upon waking. These are gratitude's gifts to your nights. Fact 68. Chronic pain perception can reduce with gratitude. Pain and stress are deeply intertwined. Cortisol affects pain perception. When stress hormones are chronically elevated, pain signals amplify. When they drop, pain often becomes more manageable. Studies of chronic pain patients have found that gratitude practice correlates with lower reported pain intensity. The pain may still exist, but it feels less overwhelming. Think of a volume dial being slowly turned down. The sound doesn't disappear, but it becomes softer, less intrusive, less defining. Perhaps any discomfort in your body is softening now, finding its proper proportion. One sensation among many, not the only one. Gratitude doesn't cure pain, but it may help pain take its proper place, present but not dominant, real but not overwhelming. Fact 69. The relationship between pain and emotion is complex. Pain is never purely physical. Emotional state profoundly affects how pain is experienced. This isn't to say pain is all in your head, but the head certainly matters. Neuroscience has mapped the overlapping circuitry of physical and emotional pain. They share neural pathways. What affects one affects the other, like two rivers that merge. The waters mingle. What flows in one begins to flow in both. Separation becomes impossible. Your emotional state right now, this calm, this rest, this gentleness is affecting your whole body, including how it processes sensation. Gratitude works on emotion. Emotion influences pain. The connections run deep, in both directions. Fact 70. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but changes your relationship to it. Perhaps the most accurate thing to say is that gratitude changes how you relate to pain. It doesn't make pain disappear. It makes it possible to hold pain alongside other experiences. People who practice gratitude often report not that their pain is gone, but that their life is larger than their pain, that there is room for both suffering and appreciation. Imagine a vast landscape. Pain might be one feature, a mountain, perhaps, but there are also valleys, rivers, forests. The mountain doesn't disappear, but it's not the only thing visible. Whatever pain you carry, gratitude can help expand the view, not by denying what hurts, but by noticing what else is also true. This is wisdom, not denial. This is resilience, not avoidance. This is the mature relationship with pain that gratitude supports. Fact 71. Your adrenal glands begin to rest. The adrenal glands sit atop your kidneys. They produce cortisol, adrenaline, and other stress hormones. When stress is chronic, they work overtime. Gratitude gives your adrenals a break. By signaling safety to the brain, it reduces the demand for stress hormones. The glands can downregulate, can rest. Think of workers at the end of a long shift. The whistle blows, tools are set down, the work stops, and rest begins. Your adrenal glands have been working for you all day, responding to demands, producing what was needed. Now, perhaps, they can slow down. Adrenal fatigue is a controversial diagnosis, but adrenal strain is real. Give these small glands what they need, the signal that stress, for now, is over. Fact 72. They've been working hard to produce cortisol. Every stressful thought, every perceived threat, every moment of anxiety triggers cortisol release. The adrenal glands respond faithfully, over and over, all day long. Modern life asks a lot of these glands. Traffic, deadlines, news, social pressure. The threats aren't physical, but the adrenals respond as if they were. Like a bell that keeps being rung. It rings and rings and rings, and eventually, the metal grows weary. The sound becomes thin. Perhaps there's a sense of relief in your body now, of systems finally being allowed to quiet down, of demands finally ceasing. Gratitude is a gift to your adrenals, a signal to stop ringing the alarm, a permission to rest. Fact 73. Now they can slow down, recover. Recovery requires rest. The adrenal glands, like all organs, need time to restore themselves. Sleep provides this time. Gratitude helps prepare the way. In the hours of sleep ahead, your adrenals will replenish. They'll restore their capacity to respond to tomorrow's demands, but only if tonight provides true rest. Imagine a garden after harvest. The soil lies fallow. Nothing is asked of it. And in that rest, fertility returns. Your body is entering that fallow time now. the time when nothing is asked, when restoration happens naturally. Gratitude prepares the ground. Sleep does the rest. Together, they give your body what it needs to heal. Fact 74. The quiet that follows stress is itself a gift. There's a particular quality to the peace that follows stress. It's not just absence of strain. It's a positive state, a relief that has its own texture. Gratitude helps you notice this quiet. It draws attention to the gift of peace, making the absence of stress into a presence of calm. Think of silence after music ends. The notes stop, but something remains. A space where sound was. A stillness that feels full. Perhaps you're in that stillness now. The stress of the day faded. What remains is not emptiness, but peace. Quiet as presence, not absence. This quiet is worth noticing, worth appreciating, worth being grateful for. The stress is gone. What beautiful relief. Fact 75. Your body is designed to return to calm. The stress response is meant to be temporary. The body is designed to return to baseline, to homeostasis, to peace. This is how you were made. When the system works properly, stress rises and then falls. Challenge is met, then released. The body returns to its natural state of calm, like breath itself. Inhale, then exhale. Expansion, then release. A rhythm that continues as long as life continues. You're exhaling now, perhaps literally, certainly metaphorically, releasing the day, releasing tension, returning to baseline. This is the end of our third cluster. 25 facts about the cortisol quiet. Stress hormones, settling, the alarm finally silencing, the body returning to its design. And as cortisol settles into stillness, your brain begins its most remarkable work. Not adding anything new, but rewiring, reshaping, becoming. But that's for the final cluster. For now, just settle. With cortisol quieting, something remarkable begins. Your brain doesn't just feel differently in moments of gratitude. It becomes different. This is neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reshape itself. Fact 76. Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to change. For most of the 20th century, scientists believed the adult brain was fixed, set in its ways, unable to change fundamentally after childhood. They were wrong. Neuroplasticity is the brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself, to form new neural connections, to literally reshape its physical structure in response to experience. Imagine clay that never fully hardens, always soft enough to be reshaped, always responsive to the hands that hold it. Your brain is like that clay, even now, even tonight, still capable of change. Perhaps your jaw is loosening, the muscles that hold tension during the day softening, releasing their grip. Fact 77. Your brain is always changing based on experience. Every experience leaves a trace on your brain. Every thought, every feeling, every action slightly modifies neural architecture. This happens constantly, without your awareness. The brain you have tonight is slightly different from the brain you had this morning. Tomorrow it will be different again. Like a river slowly reshaping its banks, the water flows, and over time, the landscape changes, not dramatically in any single moment, but profoundly over time. Your brain has been shaped by everything you've experienced, and it continues to be shaped. Right now, even as you rest. Perhaps your shoulders are dropping away from your ears, finding a lower, more natural position. Fact 78. Gratitude practice creates new neural pathways. When you practice gratitude, you strengthen certain neural pathways, the connections that support appreciation, contentment, and peace become more robust. Neurons that fire together, wire together. This is one of the foundational principles of neuroplasticity. Repeated patterns of thought create lasting changes in brain structure. Think of a path through a meadow. The first person to walk it barely leaves a trace. But after many have walked the same route, a clear path emerges. Gratitude practice is like walking that path. Each time you feel thankful, you make the pathway clearer, easier to find, more natural to follow. Perhaps there's a softness in your face now, forehead smoothing, eyebrows relaxing. Fact 79. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. This is why gratitude becomes easier with practice. The neural pathways are established. The brain knows where to go. What started as effort becomes effortless. People who have practiced gratitude for years report that it becomes automatic. The brain naturally notices things to appreciate. The grateful perspective becomes the default. Like learning any skill, at first, it requires conscious attention. Over time, it becomes second nature. Eventually, you barely notice you're doing it. Your brain is learning even now. This experience of rest, of gentle appreciation, is leaving its trace, making it easier to return here next time. Perhaps your eyes, if they're closed, are resting more deeply in their sockets. If open, perhaps they're growing heavier. Fact 80. Grateful brains show different patterns of activity. Brain imaging studies reveal that people who practice gratitude regularly show different patterns of neural activity than those who don't. The prefrontal cortex involved in decision-making and emotional regulation shows increased activity. The amygdala, the fear center, shows decreased reactivity. Imagine a house where some rooms are brightly lit and others are dim. Gratitude changes which rooms are lit. It brightens the spaces of appreciation and dims the spaces of fear. Your brain has its own pattern of activity right now, its own constellation of lit rooms. And that pattern is shifting as you rest. Perhaps your chest is rising and falling more slowly now. Each breath deeper, longer, more peaceful. Fact 81. The prefrontal cortex strengthens with practice. The prefrontal cortex is the seat of executive function, planning, reasoning, emotional control. These capacities live here. Gratitude strengthens this region. A stronger prefrontal cortex means better emotional regulation, more ability to choose responses rather than react automatically, greater capacity for wisdom. Think of a muscle that grows stronger with exercise. The prefrontal cortex is similar. Use it in certain ways, and it develops. Gratitude is one form of exercise that builds this capacity. Your prefrontal cortex has been working all day, making decisions, regulating responses. Now it can rest, knowing that the work is making it stronger. Perhaps there's a sense of your whole body settling, all the parts finding their easiest position. Fact 82. This is where emotional regulation happens. Emotional regulation is the ability to manage your emotional responses, not suppressing feelings, but not being overwhelmed by them either. Finding the middle way. People with strong emotional regulation can feel anger without acting destructively, can feel sadness without drowning in it, can feel fear without being paralyzed. Like a skilled sailor who can navigate both calm and stormy seas. The weather isn't controlled, but the response to it is masterful. Gratitude builds this capacity. It trains the brain to respond to life's circumstances with equanimity, not indifference engagement without overwhelm. Perhaps there's a calm in your mind now, thoughts still present, but not demanding, floating rather than pressing. Fact 83. Gratitude helps you respond rather than react. The difference between responding and reacting is the pause. Reacting is automatic, driven by the amygdala's alarm. Responding involves the prefrontal cortex, choosing action deliberately. Gratitude creates space for that pause. It slows the automatic reaction long enough for consideration, long enough to choose. Imagine the space between a question and an answer. In that space, wisdom can enter. Without the space, only habit speaks. You don't need to react to anything right now. There's nothing requiring immediate response, just the space itself. The pause extended into rest. Perhaps your hands are completely relaxed now, fingers curled naturally. No gripping, no holding. Fact 84. The amygdala becomes less reactive over time. The amygdala is your brain's alarm system. It detects threats and triggers the stress response. In anxious brains, it can be overactive, seeing danger everywhere. Gratitude practice gradually calms the amygdala. It becomes less reactive, less likely to fire unnecessarily. The baseline level of alarm decreases. Think of a nervous guard who gradually learns that most sounds are harmless. At first, every noise triggers alertness. Over time, only real threats get attention. Your amygdala can rest tonight. There's no threat here, nothing to guard against, just the safety of rest. Perhaps your whole nervous system is quieting, the vigilance of the day dissolving into night. Fact 85. This means less anxiety, more peace. A less reactive amygdala translates directly into less anxiety, fewer false alarms, less unnecessary fear, more capacity to rest in peace. This isn't about becoming oblivious to real dangers. The amygdala still works when needed. It just stops working when it's not needed. Like an alarm system that still protects your home but doesn't go off every time a leaf falls. Properly calibrated, appropriately sensitive. Peace isn't the absence of challenges. It's the capacity to meet challenges without unnecessary suffering. Gratitude builds that capacity. Perhaps you're feeling that peace now, present but not worried, aware but not anxious. Fact 86. Gray matter density increases in key regions. Brain scans have shown that regular meditation and gratitude practice can increase gray matter density in regions associated with learning, memory, and emotional regulation. Gray matter is where most neural computation happens. More gray matter generally means more processing capacity. The brain literally grows. Imagine soil becoming richer over time. More nutrients, more capacity to support life, more abundance. Your brain has been growing throughout your life, learning, adapting, developing. Even now, in rest, it continues its slow growth. Perhaps there's a sense of your mind expanding, not thinking more, but having more space, more room. Fact 87. Your brain literally grows with practice. This isn't metaphor. Brain imaging shows measurable increases in brain tissue with consistent contemplative practice. The brain physically changes. Think of how muscles grow with exercise. The principle is similar. Use creates growth. Practice builds capacity. Like a tree adding rings year by year. Each ring is small, but over decades, the tree becomes mighty. Growth that's invisible day to day becomes undeniable over time. You can't see your brain growing, but if you practice gratitude consistently, it is slowly, steadily, really. Perhaps your body feels heavier now, more substantial, more present in the bed or chair where it rests. Fact 88. The hippocampus benefits from reduced stress. The hippocampus is crucial for memory and learning. Chronic stress damages it. Cortisol is toxic to hippocampal neurons. By reducing stress, gratitude protects this vital structure. A healthy hippocampus means better memory, stronger learning, more capacity to integrate experience into wisdom. Think of a library kept in good condition. The books are preserved. The knowledge remains accessible. Nothing is lost to decay. Your hippocampus has stored so much. Memories of decades. Learning of a lifetime. Tonight, it rests and consolidates. Protected from stress. Perhaps there's a sense of memories settling into place. The day being filed away, ready to be recalled when needed. Fact 89. Memory and learning are enhanced. People who practice gratitude often report improved memory and cognitive function. The mechanisms are multiple: reduced stress, better sleep, increased neural growth. Learning isn't just for the young. The brain retains its capacity for growth throughout life. Gratitude supports that ongoing capacity. Like a garden that continues to produce season after season. Not just once, but repeatedly. As long as it's tended, you've been learning all day, taking in information, processing experience. Now your brain consolidates that learning, strengthening what matters. Perhaps the day's learning is settling now, finding its place among everything else you know. Fact 90. Cognitive flexibility increases with gratitude. Cognitive flexibility is the ability to shift perspective, to see situations from different angles, to adapt thinking to new circumstances. Gratitude naturally involves shifting perspective from what's wrong to what's right, from what's missing to what's present. This builds the general capacity for flexible thinking. Imagine a neck that can turn freely, looking in any direction, not stuck facing one way. Your mind has been flexible today, shifting between tasks, adapting to circumstances. Now, it can rest in one direction: peace. Perhaps your actual neck is more relaxed now, able to turn, but choosing stillness. Fact 91. You become better at seeing multiple perspectives. People who practice gratitude become better at understanding other viewpoints. Empathy increases. Judgment decreases. The world seems less black and white. This isn't moral relativism. Some things remain clearly right or wrong, but the space between extremes becomes visible. Nuance becomes possible. Think of a photograph coming into focus. What seemed like simple shapes reveal detail. Complexity emerges from what seemed simple. You've seen from many perspectives today. Your own, and perhaps others. Now you can rest in your own experience, without needing to hold everyone's view. Perhaps there's a simplicity in this moment. Just you, just rest, just now. Fact 92. Social brain regions strengthen. Humans are deeply social beings. Significant portions of the brain are dedicated to understanding others, to connection, to belonging. Gratitude strengthens these social brain regions. It enhances the capacity for empathy, for connection, for love, like a muscle for caring, used in gratitude. It grows stronger. The capacity to connect deepens. You're alone right now, perhaps, but your social brain carries everyone you love, everyone you've known, the web of connection that makes you who you are. Perhaps there's a warmth in thinking of those connections, people who matter, relationships that sustain. Fact 93. Empathy and compassion grow naturally. As the social brain strengthens, empathy and compassion grow, not as forced virtues, but as natural capacities. The brain becomes better at caring. This affects not just feelings, but actions. People who practice gratitude are more likely to help others, more likely to forgive, more likely to give. Think of water flowing downhill. It doesn't try to flow. Flow is its nature. Similarly, a grateful brain naturally inclines toward compassion. Your capacity for compassion has been growing, perhaps without your noticing. Gratitude does this quietly, in the background. Perhaps there's compassion for yourself right now. Kindness toward this being who works and strives and deserves rest. Fact 94. Relationships improve as your brain changes. As the brain changes, relationships change. You become easier to be with, more patient, more appreciative, more present. People notice, even if they can't name what's different. They feel more comfortable around you, more connected, more valued. Like a room with better lighting, everything looks better. Nothing has changed except the quality of light. Your relationships exist even now, in your absence. The people who care about you are living their lives, and you remain part of theirs. Perhaps there's gratitude for those relationships, for the people who make life meaningful. Fact 95. Default mode network shifts toward positivity. The default mode network is what your brain does when it's not focused on a task. It's where the mind goes when it wanders. In anxious brains, the default mode tends toward worry. In grateful brains, it tends toward appreciation. The resting state becomes more positive. Imagine a radio that's always on in the background. What station it plays affects the atmosphere of the room. Gratitude tunes the radio to a better station. Your mind will wander as you drift towards sleep. Where it wanders matters. Gratitude shapes those wanderings. Perhaps your mind is already wandering, drifting pleasantly, finding gentle places to rest. Fact 96. Your resting brain becomes more peaceful. A peaceful default mode means that even when you're not trying, your brain tends toward calm. The baseline state shifts. This is perhaps the deepest gift of gratitude practice. Not just moments of appreciation, but a fundamentally more peaceful mind. Think of a lake that's naturally still. When wind comes, it ripples. When wind leaves, it returns to stillness. The stillness is the default. Your mind is approaching that stillness now. The wind of the day fading, the natural calm emerging. Perhaps you can feel that emergence. Peace, not as effort, but as release. Fact 97. These changes last beyond practice sessions. The neural changes from gratitude persist. They don't disappear when you stop actively practicing. The brain carries them forward. This is why the effects accumulate. Each practice builds on the last. The benefits compound over time. Like savings that earn interest. Each deposit matters, but the compound growth matters more. Time becomes your ally. Everything you've experienced tonight is being incorporated. Tomorrow, you'll carry traces of this rest, this peace, this gratitude. Perhaps there's comfort in that continuity. Nothing is lost. Everything builds. Fact 98. You carry your gratitude practice into daily life. People who practice gratitude regularly report that it changes how they experience ordinary moments. Waiting in line, eating breakfast, walking to work. The mundane becomes meaningful. The ordinary becomes appreciated. Life feels richer without anything external changing. Think of putting on glasses for the first time. The world was always detailed, but now you can see it. Gratitude is like those glasses. Tomorrow, you'll wake to ordinary life, but perhaps you'll see it a bit differently, a bit more clearly, a bit more gratefully. Perhaps there's anticipation of that tomorrow. Gentle anticipation, not urgent, but warm. Fact 99. The brain you have tomorrow will be different. The brain you bring to tomorrow will be shaped by tonight, by this rest, by this experience, by this practice of gratitude. Change is constant. The only question is the direction of change. Gratitude points the direction toward peace. Like steering a ship, small adjustments of the wheel change the destination. Gratitude is a small adjustment that makes a large difference over time. You're steering tonight, whether you know it or not, toward peace, toward appreciation, toward a brain that finds it easier to rest. Perhaps that feels hopeful. That tomorrow can be different. That change is possible. Fact 100. You are becoming who you practice being. This is perhaps the deepest truth about gratitude and the brain. You become what you practice. The person you practice being becomes the person you are. If you practice gratitude, you become grateful, not through force of will, but through neural change. The brain reshapes itself around what you repeatedly do. Think of water wearing a channel in stone, not through effort, but through persistence, not through force, but through flow. You are becoming, right now, in this moment of rest, in this experience of gratitude. You are becoming the person who finds it easier to be grateful, easier to find peace, easier to rest. This is the 100th fact, the last one. 100 ways that gratitude changes your brain, changes your body, changes your life. And perhaps, listening to them, you've changed too. Just a little, just enough. And so we come to the end of our exploration together. 100 facts about the science of gratitude. 100 ways that simple appreciation changes everything. From the dopamine that sparks when you say thank you, to the serotonin that warms like morning sun, to the cortisol that finally quiets, to the brain that reshapes itself around what you practice. This is what gratitude does. Not through magic, through biology, through the beautiful machinery of your brain and body working as they were designed to work. If you're still awake, take a moment now. Think of one thing you're grateful for tonight. It doesn't have to be big. A warm bed, a quiet moment, the fact that you're breathing without effort. Just one thing. And if you've already drifted to sleep, your brain is grateful too. Grateful for the rest. Grateful for the peace. Grateful for the chance to heal and restore. There's nothing more you need to do tonight. Nothing more to think about. Nothing to solve. Nothing to figure out. Just rest. Your brain will continue its work while you sleep, consolidating memories, restoring energy, rewiring itself toward gratitude. You don't have to supervise it. It knows what to do. Like a gardener who plants seeds and then waits, you've done your part. Now let time and nature do theirs. Sleep is coming for you. Or perhaps it's already arrived. Either way, you're exactly where you need to be. Resting. Peaceful. Grateful. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving yourself this gift of rest. The world will be there tomorrow. Your responsibilities will wait. Your worries can keep until morning. For now, just this breath. Just this moment. Just this rest. Good night. Sleep well. And may you wake grateful.